Two phones, two brands, but you can only go home with one. Which one do you pick? My name is Ronnie Miner from Gadgets Africa, and I have two phones with me today, an OPPO Reno 4 and a Samsung Galaxy A71. Both phones cost about the same price, almost the same size, and have a lot more in common when it comes to specifications. But we are not here to make this a battle of specifications. If that's all it took to buy a phone, you wouldn't need anything more than GSM Arena. So let's take a closer look at the OPPO Reno 4 versus the Samsung Galaxy A71. We are going to start off with the design, and I'm happy to say that for the first time we have two Android phones that don't look alike. Okay, they do look similar, not twins, but these two phones look like every other pandemic smartphone. We have punch-hole displays, two on the OPPO and a better looking single hole on the Samsung. The displays are both AMOLED, maxing out at 1080p, and for the non-techies, this just means that the displays are actually good. On the back, we have 4 cameras on each of the phones, and we'll get to the camera performance in a bit. The overall designs of the phones will be appealing to you. However, you do get more color options on the Samsung side, but the OPPO's less liney design looks better in my opinion, especially in black. Now, to the camera, which is something that a lot of people actually care about. Without cheating, check these photos out and pick which ones you like. Then try guess which phone took which photo. All the photos on the right side of the screen were shot on the OPPO, and those on the left were shot on the Samsung. Photos coming out of these phones are both very good and will wow you and your Instagram followers. But here's the thing, unless you're going to be comparing these two phones side by side, it's hard to pick out which one has a better camera. Well, until we get into the gimmicks. The OPPO wins on the gimmicks, hands down, with features such as color portrait, night flare, and even monocolor on videos. The Reno 4 packs features the Samsung can only dream about. When it comes to videos, both record at 4K 30 frames per second, but the OPPO has an option to record at Full HD at 60 frames per second, and that's dope. So, if you're those people that spend a lot of time and emphasis on the cameras, then the OPPO Reno 4 is the phone for you. But that's not all about these two phones. There is more. When it comes to daily usage, both devices do really well with more than enough RAM and storage capacity. This means that using the phones on a daily yields lag-free satisfaction, and you won't need to worry about running out of storage as well, unless you start recording all your videos in 4K. But luckily, both phones offer SD card support. To see how the OPPO does in video, check out the video on the pop-up card to the right. Now, here's where things get a little bit tricky. The Samsung is slightly larger and wider than the OPPO, which means using the phone in one hand is a myth unless you got gigantic hands like MKBHD. The thinner, slimmer and lighter profile on the OPPO gives it an advantage, as it is easier to use and less likely to drop as you fiddle around with it. Then there's the issue of software. Okay, maybe I should say, then there's no issue with software. These two phones have similar software experience, really, and there are tricks up the sleeves to make using either of these phones really good. But as with the camera, when it comes to gimmicks, the OPPO does pack more gimmicks, including a feature that hides your notifications if it catches someone stealing glances on your phone. Actually, the second lens on the Reno 4's front is not a selfie camera, but an additional sensor that reads your face and enables a number of security features as mentioned above, as well as improving the facial recognition on the phone. Now, to the other thing that actually matters, the battery life. The Samsung Galaxy A71 has a bigger battery at 4000 mAh, but charges slower at 25 watts. The Reno 4 on the other hand has a 40-15 mAh pack and a 30 watts charging capability. When it comes to endurance, both phones last throughout the day, no issues. But the OPPO has then gone ahead with the gimmicks, again, to give it an edge over the Samsung. See, the OPPO has a feature where it recognizes when you are asleep and then puts the phone in power saving mode until you wake up. The effect of this is that you could sleep with the battery at 30% and wake up at 28%, compared to the Samsung that would be lower than 20% in the morning, as tested. So, which phone is actually better? As you can see, this is a very close race, and we might have to pull out the spec sheet just to have a proper conclusion. But as promised, we're not going to go that route. The truth is, the Samsung is a slightly older phone with great specifications for a mid-ranger, and it enjoys brand equity. Indeed, it is a Samsung. But OPPO's less cocky brand, on the other hand, means it had to work harder to share the same pedestal with the Samsung. Thus, we have an endless list of features that make the Galaxy phone look less appealing in the long run. This is purely a case of one good phone and one better phone. Whichever one you choose to place the tags on is entirely up to you. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and give us a like. It really helps us out. Until next time, stay safe. Kwaheri.